Have you been wondering, should you buy Disney Genie Plus for your next visit to Disneyland? If that's the case, then here are 5 things that you should consider before purchasing Disney Genie Plus. Hey, I'm David. I'm a content creator specializing in theme park experiences. So the first thing is, why do people buy Disney Genie Plus? Well, basically that's to access these things called lightning lanes. These are special queues that help you skip the bulk of the lines for many of the popular attractions at the resort. Lightning lanes are in both parks, but they're not for every single ride. If you're familiar with how Fast Pass used to work in the past, that's what these are, just repurposed into lightning lanes. However, the only way to use lightning lanes is if you purchase Disney Genie Plus, or another option which I'll get to in a moment. So at Disneyland Park, here's a list of attractions with lightning lanes that work when you purchase Disney Genie Plus. So again, not all the attractions have lightning lanes. However, most of the popular rides do. And here's the same list for Disney California Adventure. This list could change throughout the year, but for the most part, these are the same rides that are pretty much always included in Disney Genie Plus. The only thing we've seen in the future is more rides get added to it, like web slingers. I'll also post a full list of these attractions in the description. And lightning lanes can save you a lot of time. For example, here it shows Haunted Mansion at 35-minute wait. So if I see about 35 minutes, it usually means the lightning lane is about 5, maybe 10 minutes in the wait before getting into the pre-show scene of the attraction. Most of the time, the lightning lane just skips the line. You still have to wait a little bit, but there are times when it's been 100 wait minute for an attraction and I've only waited about 10, 15 minutes, but these times can fluctuate. Just know that Disneyland tends to prioritize the lightning lanes, so they'll let more guests in from that paid queue versus the regular standby line. Also important to note, there are 3 rides currently that use lightning lanes that do not work with Disney Genie Plus: Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway and Star Wars Rise of the Resistance at Disneyland, and Radiator Springs Racers and Cars Land at Disney California Adventure currently offer a la carte lightning lanes. This means that you'll pay a one-time fee per person per ride. There are some limits here. You can only book 2 individual lightning lanes, so you won't be able to book all 3 in one day. Pricing from these usually runs from anywhere from $15 to $25 per person. It just depends on the day that you're going. So speaking of pricing, that brings us into part 2. How much will you pay for Disney Genie Plus? So just like one-day Disneyland tickets, pricing fluctuates depending on the day that you go. Disney Genie Plus starts off at $25 per person. However, it could go up to $30, maybe even more depending on the day. If you purchase Disney Genie Plus with your ticket, you'll get locked in at that $25 rate. However, if you're purchasing day of, you can do so once you're inside the park. You'll see the pricing on the front page of the Disneyland app on the day of your visit. Just scroll down a little bit to see this. Also note, this pricing is for both parks. So if you have a park hopper that day, you don't have to pay an additional price. In addition, if you're a Disneyland Magic Key holder, those are the annual passes for Disneyland, you'll save 20% off the price of Disney Genie Plus on the day of your visit. However, you can't use that discount for other guests in your party who don't have Magic Keys. So now I'm getting to part 3 and 4, which is when does Disney Genie Plus work best, followed by when it doesn't work as well. So personally, I think that if you want to go on as many rides in one day as possible, Disney Genie Plus could be a great option for you. You will use the Disneyland app to book lightning lanes in advance, and once you've used your lightning lane, you can immediately book another for a different attraction. From my personal experience, if you're willing to go hard, you can ride over 20 attractions in one single day with the help of Disney Genie Plus. You will need to make sure that you're on it, booking lightning lanes right away. Of course, not all of those rides will have lightning lanes, and it is possible that it might be so busy you can't do that. But even if you got a fraction of those rides, you still could have saved hours from not waiting in line. And that gives you time to do other things like shop, eat, explore your favorite parts in the park, take photos in front of the castle, or even maybe go back to your hotel room, take a break in the midday, and then come back later on for more experiences. So now part 4, when does Disney Genie Plus not work as well? So the first things to consider is that you can only use the lightning lanes once per ride. So for example, if you book a lightning lane for Big Thunder Mountain, you won't be able to rebook that lightning lane on that same day. Second note is not all rides use it. I did give you that list beforehand, but even popular rides like Peter Pan and Pirates of the Caribbean do not have lightning lanes. A third thing to note is that on busier days, the lines can get really backed up, and this can sometimes include the lightning lanes because a lot of guests have purchased Disney Genie Plus. So on really busy days, and we're talking like spring break, peak of summer, that week between Christmas and New Year, you might see lightning lanes book up so far in advance that you could try to book a lightning lane for Space Mountain at 11 a.m., but the next available time slot isn't until night. The good news is, if that happens, if your Disney Genie Plus lightning lane is more than 2 hours out, you can book another lightning lane after 2 hours. They don't make you wait to use that one in the evening to book another. You also can't choose the time for your Lightning Lane. It's really just the next available time is when you can book. So if you're trying to plan in the future, this makes things a little bit more difficult, but it is possible for a Lightning Lane to completely sell out for a certain attraction. So in the event that that happens, you would have to wait in the standard line if you want to experience that attraction. Again, this isn't typical, but if you're visiting during a very busy time, it is possible that you'll see Disney Genie Plus sell out that day. During the holiday season of 2022, we saw Disney Genie Plus sell out in the late morning, early afternoon on several dates. So I would just say this, if you're going during that week between Christmas and New Year, you may want to purchase Disney Genie Plus with your ticket in advance. Or if you didn't do that, make sure you get to the park really early, purchase Disney Genie Plus as soon as you walk into the gate, and that way you can make sure that you lock it in for yourself. I also want to say that if you have young kids who are like 5 and under, Disney Genie Plus may not be the best option. And that's because there's really only a handful of rides that you might use it for. We're talking like Small World, Roger Rabbit maybe, and then like Monsters Inc. and Toy Story and maybe Web Slingers at Disney California Adventure. But if you do plan to experience all those rides and don't want to wait, then yeah, Disney Genie Plus could have a lot of value for you, especially if you want to experience all those rides in a single day. Now that I have this list up, it's also important to note that not all Lightning Lanes are created equal. Most of these are fantastic and will get you straight through the line pretty quickly, but Indiana Jones Adventure only really cuts the outside portion of the attraction. So if you see the line for Indiana Jones at 35 minutes or less, you may want to book another Lightning Lane for a different attraction, because typically you're still going to wait most of that time inside the queue inside the temple. The last two things about why Disney Genie Plus doesn't always work as well. First, it does require you to be on your phone quite a bit. You'll need to scroll through the app, checking different times, booking your Lightning Lanes, booking new Lightning Lanes, and maybe even modifying or canceling your new Lightning Lanes. And before the last part, I also want to say, sometimes the attraction wait times aren't always accurate. For example, right now it says the Indiana Jones Adventure is at 15 minutes, but it's possible that you could wait in that line and really say it was only 35. Same thing with Haunted Mansion, it could say 35 minutes, it could be 20 minutes. And a ride that says 15 minutes actually could be a walk-on. So it makes strategizing with booking your Lightning Lanes a little bit more challenging, but Disneyland is just estimating the ride wait times, so you can cross your fingers and say, hey, maybe this won't be 15 minutes, but then you end up waiting, and yeah, it is about 45, 50 minutes. Before I get into the last benefits and tips for using Disney Genie Plus, if you want more Disneyland tips, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, if you're enjoying this video, make sure you hit the like button. It really helps this channel grow. So one huge benefit of having Disney Genie Plus is that when Disney photographers take your pictures around the park, like this one of me in front of Guardians of the Galaxy, you can download these photos as many times as you want, including ones in front of the castle using the Disneyland app. There's also these really fun photo lenses that you can use. These are fun things available in the Disneyland app, and you can use these to occupy your time in rides that don't have Lightning Lanes. Another cool feature are the audio tales. These tell you facts about lands and attractions. I recommend bringing headphones for these ones, but you can learn a little bit more about the parks while you're there. Now, here are my tips for you to maximize Disney Genie Plus at Disneyland. First, you want to get there early. That way you can make sure that the Lightning Lanes that you want to use don't get sold out before you get there. Also, this is a great way to just maximize your time and ride as many attractions as you can. Second, if you make a reservation but you want to change it, there is now a modify button. All you need to do is click your reservation and you should see the option with the little modify button. From there, you'll be able to pick a different time for a different attraction, or just keep the current one that you have. 3, you can also cancel your reservation. So if you book one, you're not obligated to stick to it. And this is really good news, because if somebody does cancel their Lightning Lane, then you can pick it up, which is another great tip. In the screen where you're booking Lightning Lanes, you can actually pull down on it to refresh the page. In this instance, you'll be able to see new sets of Lightning Lanes. If someone cancels one, you might be able to get one for that same hour or even that same minute. Sometimes guests just stand there and just keep refreshing it, or they do it while they're in line for a different attraction. And when something pops up, then they score and they're able to get an earlier ride. In addition, if you're not sure when you can book your next Lightning Lane, you should see if it says now or a certain time at the top of the tip board in the Disneyland app. And lastly, here are the list of attractions that typically have the most demand. And these are the ones that you will often see Lightning Lanes run out for first. Now, there are some exceptions, including Haunted Mansion, especially during Halloween and the holidays. And during the hottest days at Disney California Adventure, the Grizzly River Run raft ride especially has bigger demand midday. So those are my tips for you. If you have any questions about Disney Genie Plus, leave them in the comments below. And if you want to know more about how to use Disney Genie Plus, check out this video right here. Again, my name's David, and thanks again for watching.